All right, folks, let's go ahead and make the 2x2x1 brick. This is one of our basic dimensional bricks, so this one should not take us very long. All right, let's go ahead and create a new tab. With these dimensional bricks, we're going to start with the top plane, and we're going to create the basic geometry here, starting at the origin. Remember, Legos are mostly squares and rectangles, so we can go ahead and lay this out. I'm going to use the formula that we derived in class, and that's going to be the number of studs times the value of the distance between the studs, which is 8 millimeters, minus the amount of shrink that it's going to do in each direction, which is 0.2 millimeters. And that's going to give us this value here. If I hover over it, you can see that it's rearranged the formula, and it's going to say in parentheses 2 times 8. That 2 is the variable that we would change if we ever wanted to come back and amend this thing. I'm going to go ahead and do it on this vertical edge as well. So let's see, 2 times 8 minus 0.2. And there we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and correct these. So if I ever have to look back in here, it'll be nice and neat. And now I can go ahead and hit finish sketch on this. And I can extrude it up. Since we're doing a one layer brick here, that's going to be the 3.2 millimeter value we've come up with. And now I have a nice little basis for all of my studs and other features. Let's go ahead and create a sketch on that top surface. And we'll lay out a circle for the initial stud. Remember, we're only ever going to make one stud on these guys. If you're generating each stud by hand, you're wasting time. Part of the discipline of drafting or 3D modeling is being efficient and fast. So we want to try and always keep that in mind. How can we make ourselves faster and more efficient? Now we've got one perfectly defined stud in here. You can see that the sketch is all black. That means we can move on. In this case, it means we're going to go ahead and use our rectangular pattern. And this one's pretty easy. Remember, Legos are always spaced 8 millimeters apart. 8 millimeters happens to be kind of our magic number in Lego. A lot of stuff is based on 8 millimeters, and uh, multiples of it. Sorry, lost the word multiples. All right, let's go ahead. We've got that there. Remember, with pattern tools, you can always hit the other arrow to select that. You don't have to do two pattern tools. That would be a waste of time. All right, let's go ahead and finish this sketch because we've got what we wanted. We can go to our extrude tool, and we are going to click in each one of the circles we made. And we're going to extrude these up 1.7 millimeters. Remember, that is the height of studs all the way around. Every time we do Legos, the studs will be 1.7 millimeters high. Now, we can go ahead and work on the features on the bottom. We're going to start with a shell. We're going to make that shell wall thickness 1.2 millimeters. The shell walls on Legos and our standard are always 1.2 millimeters. Now I've got a couple choices I can make here. I can start here in the bottom, or I can use this bottom edge. Either one works. I would just extrude one way or the other. I'm going to go ahead and keep it here in the bottom. I'm going to click create sketch. You'll see, because I had that surface highlighted and I hit create sketch, it snapped it too, so I have a nice view of it. That is one way to save time. I feel like I'm wasting a lot of time telling you how to save time, but we can make that up here. All right, so with snap rings, which is the feature that we call down here on the bottom, the outer diameter we have determined to be 6.25 millimeters. And the inner diameter here is going to be 5 millimeters. That's going to allow a 4.8 millimeter stud to snap in there and have pretty nice tolerance. All right, you can see my sketches are still blue. That's because I haven't located them in relation to the origin. So I could go all the way back to the origin and relate them there, or I can do to the edge that the origin is attached to. That's what I'm doing in this case. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I can do that same thing here. I get to the same place. They're always that way. All right. Oh, I did our mistype here. Let me go ahead and hit 7.9 there. There we go. All right, I can finish this sketch because everything is defined. And that means that I can add my last little step here, which is to go to my extrude tool, click in this snap ring, and then I'm going to change this to object. And I want to click this surface here, and that way it's going to be attached. That means that if I were to come in here and say, for instance, that I wanted to change this, let me go ahead and say this real quick, x2, x1, and we're just going to leave it blank for this one. If I did want to make this a taller brick, I can just come in here, edit this feature, and change this value, and that bottom edge should stay snapped to it. And now I have a larger brick. So that is one way to make yourself much, much faster. Okay, let me stop the video.